Welcome to The Rest Between Sets, a podcast about health, wellness, and the real lives behind the workouts. I'm Rebecca, a physical therapist and a strength coach who has had some really good conversations with athletes while they're resting between their sets. I've gotten some really good life advice, and so every week I sit down with members of our gym and our community to talk about what it really takes to be strong in the gym and in life. Today's podcast guest is Ashley Karanik. She is a wedding planner. She's been working out here at Hustle One for several years, and she deals a lot with anxiety, and she has some great advice on how to deal with it, how to overcome those feelings of intimidation in the gym, and how to get a good workout in. All right. Hey, Ashley, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Are you excited to work out later?
I'm always so excited to work out later.
Okay. Are you going to do strength or conditioning?
I forgot it's flow day. I actually usually go conditioning on flow day.
Okay.
I try to force myself to do it.
Well, I hope you're ready for a good amount of jump rope because there's a lot of jump rope in this one.
Oh, I love jump rope, so I'm okay with that.
So our main topic today that I wanted to talk to you about is anxiety. And I know that's been an issue for you. I think it's an issue for a lot of people. I know a lot of my friends deal with it. So tell me a little bit about how that's affected you, like at the gym, and some of the things that you've done to overcome it.
Sure. So I think most of my gym anxiety stemmed from never being super athletic growing up. Like I was a cheerleader. I tried different sports out, but I was never super consistent in the gym in my adult life. So besides feeling like I had almost a delayed start in getting into the gym, I think, coming in also not being in the best shape and then also not having that comfortability in the gym to begin with, I just felt like, I would have a lot of even symptoms getting to the gym. When I'd be working out, I'd have shortness of breath. I'd be super anxious, sometimes even mild panic if my breath felt like it got too out of control. So what helped me at first with that was personal training, because that was just less eyes on me. I always say one of anxiety's biggest lies is that everyone's watching you, and the reality is that no one. I always joke to tell myself that no one cares the way you think they do. Everyone is focused on themselves and maybe the lift they're doing, and it's truly not. No one's looking at you and correcting your form or thinking you don't belong, which is pretty much everything I would tell myself entering a gym. So just kind of reframing my thinking about it really helped kind of the initial get over the fear there. And then obviously in time, just, working with coaches and scaling my workouts to a pace that I felt comfortable with was really key for getting started.
So how did you start here? What made you get over that hump of walking the doors and just decide to start a new routine, a new workout? How'd you get over that?
I think honestly, it was having coaches that mostly understood where I was coming from when I walked into the gym. They got where I was coming from mentally. So
you had Sean as a coach first, right?
Yeah. So Sean was my trainer, who I eventually ended up planning his wedding, because I'm a wedding planner full time.
It's pretty cool.
So you can tell how, that dynamic went. But yeah, he was just super sensitive to any scaling I needed to do, or any time I would need to take a break to catch my breath, or kind of just take a beat. I would associate taking breaks with, failing or having to stop. And then I learned that it was just better for him to know where I was at. That way, I wasn't having to be is he going to know that I'm thinking these things? But also he could kind of maybe even gauge when I was getting there before I could. He could tell when I was starting to get overwhelmed or stressed or anything like that, and could kind of, adjust my pace. Yeah. Stuff like that.
So wedding planning is a pretty high, I would say a pretty high stress career, especially in Charleston. How do you deal with anxiety in the workplace and that? Because you go up, that's a pretty stressful job, I would think.
Yeah.
I know you love it.
Yes, I do love it, but it's definitely stressful. I think another thing that really helped me was that, a lot of your coaches will tell you that having your workouts ahead of time and stuff being scheduled is super helpful. And I found that worked too. But I actually found that when I would go to the gym each day kind of would change, just because some days I would feel by the end of the day, I knew that the only thing that would help is if I went and moved my body, because it was just, as much as I tried to push against it, I learned that it truly is the only thing that would help me. But some mornings, it was better to start my day with a workout. So I would just kind of, again, listen to my body and my mind. And if I needed either an additional workout, or some days I needed to go just take a walk or do yoga, whatever it was, I kind of would listen to my body and my mind that, tell me what I needed then. Did I need to did I know that morning I needed to wake up and go work out, or did I need a little bit more sleep? And, by the end of the workday, I was feeling so wound up tight that I needed to go release that in the gym.
So working out helps with stress and anxiety at your job.
Yeah, I mean, it helps it. Yes, I'd say stress and anxiety kind of everywhere. Like even in my personal life, I've learned that it also is just the only thing that will kind of help me get my mind off things. Just that hour with your phone down. Try to keep my phone down.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that, especially when your job doesn't really have like a specific start and end time.
Yeah.
But just putting your phone down and really allowing yourself to have that like hour, 45 minutes made a huge difference.
Yeah. Are you like constantly getting like phone calls, emails, texts and stuff about wedding stuff?
Yeah, I kind of pretty much always either like emails, phone calls, which is again why it's hard to kind of put my phone down. I love to take my phone in with me just because I love to see like what other, I love to like get competitive and see what other people are lifting or like, what I lifted last time. So I'll try to look at it before and then put the phone down after. Just because if my phone's near me, I will inevitably want to check emails between like sets or anything. And that's just you're not fully present when you're, kind of aware of your phone.
Yeah.
In a workout.
Yeah. I was reading something recently that was talking about how like people do worse on tests if their phone is like just near them, just like knowing it's nearby.
Yeah, I think that's totally true because even if it's not going off, you're aware of it next to you and you're looking to see, is there a new message there? Is there like a notification? Yeah. Whereas if I put it in my bag in the, like lounge area, I don't even have the option to look at it.
Yeah.
Or see what's going on. Because I'll start thinking about that email. Like how am I going to respond to that? That's a problem. That's a fire I need to put out. And then I'm not being present in the workout.
Yeah.
So,
and if it's not going off, then you're like aware that it's not going off.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It's too quiet.
Yeah, it's too quiet. Things are too peaceful.
Yeah.
And now too, like, you can get like notification stuff on your watch, which like I used to get those and now I have to shut them off because it's too much. I can't take it on my watch and my phone too.
I used to work out with a watch and I stopped. I use one for wedding planning now, but I don't use it as much for fitness. I gotta be unplugged.
Yeah.
I gotta be fully unplugged.
Yeah, that's good. I'm definitely like a little too attached to my watch. Do you have any like non-gym related habits that have helped with anxiety and just like mental health in general?
Yeah, I mean, a huge thing that I know you had, you're always talking about what you're doing outside, reinforcing your workouts with, what you're putting in your body and all of that stuff. But something that I always say was really big in my fitness journey and also my mental health was cutting drinking out as much, I'll still enjoy a glass of wine or something like that here and there, but just drinking, I've become so educated about how drinking affects your brain and how your blood pressure and all of those things. And I didn't realize that, that was made a huge difference. And also, it's great to have a glass of wine with friends, but I'm a lot less likely to want to go to the gym the next day wake up at 6 if I'm having a glass of wine the night before. So I honestly kind of plan out if I know I'm going to have a night out, like when, I'm going to do that just so it's not getting in the way of, my next day. And then, I think just eating as well and thinking about that, when I haven't eaten well, I'm like, it makes you feel like you have to go to the gym almost to undo what you did. And then when I reframed the way I was thinking of, it's not like you're working necessarily off that. Once you stop thinking about the gym, like only for the physical aspect of it, that's what really helped me. Yeah. I was always like, you're going there because you need to, be more in shape or be more fit. And then when I focused it more on, again, you're doing it for your brain, your heart, like your body, that really helped as well.
Was that a hard change to make, the drinking less?
It was at first, but most of my friends are sober now or don't drink a lot, not for any reason other than, we're all like in our 30s now and trying to just be healthier versions of ourselves. So we just all kind of have slowed down on that.
Good.
Which has been great because I think when you surround yourself with people who are like-minded or have the same kind of habits and care about their health, it's a lot easier to do that.
That was my next question. Like, you have like a pretty solid friend group, it seems like. Like, do you think that you guys all doing that stuff together has helped?
Yeah, it for sure has. And none of my friends, I just had a friend join the gym, but most of my close friends don't do these type of workouts, but they are really into like vinyasa or hot yoga or things like that. So even some days when I'm like feeling a little like just plateaued or whatever it is, like I'll maybe just go join them at their gym and do yoga with them or do like a core workout or whatever it is. So I also think that's helpful just to kind of be able to
switch it up,
try new things with them too.
And I think just getting to do stuff with your friends is always fun, like whether it's class or yoga or whatever, like it's nice to have people to do it with you.
Oh yeah, I'm always texting people from the gym asking when they're going. Let's get text from me asking if everyone's worked out today.
Yeah, you text me a lot with that.
Sean and Aaron are not safe from that either. I'm always group texting our wedding planning text. Who's working out today?
Oh. So what's your favorite thing about wedding planning?
So I'm a control freak, which is also why the gym anxiety kind of like was as strong as it was, is because letting go of control is very difficult for me. So for the gym, that meant losing control of my body, or that's what it felt like. And wedding planning, I get to control everything.
Yeah.
So I get to, I love to lead a team. I like to teach others. So I love to have like girls under me who are maybe trying to get into planning. I love to kind of, mentor them in a way and just teach them all the things that I feel like maybe weren't taught to me, or, because of the exclusivity of the industry or things like that. So yeah, I really love knowing that at the end of the day that it was like kind of me and my bosses like effort and our work over the course of like 2 years that made that day come to life. I mean, like I said, we're working with these people for, sometimes it's only 6 months. Most times though, it's a year to 2 years. So it's like that entire journey comes down to one day, and seeing that and knowing that it was all because of, the time and all of those mini conversations with the bride and groom between, over that process. It's just such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah. And I read Charleston is the #1 wedding destination in the United States. I don't know if that's true, but.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I'm always, unfortunately, I miss a lot of things in the gym because of wedding planning, because a lot of our weddings are on Saturdays or Friday nights. So like, when it's like the open and stuff like that, I try to definitely dip in when I can. But
you did really good with open this past year.
Oh yeah, that was my first full open.
Yeah. Yeah, you were there every week, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so. That was another thing about gym anxiety, is that was probably, it's really hard to give myself credit, but like I said, I hate people watching me work out. Like, that if you worked out with me, I'm always like, look away, don't look at me when I'm lifting. But so any type of like, even if it's it's like family and friendly, but if it's like any type of workout where someone's watching you, I just like die inside. I'm like, my form's wrong. They think I shouldn't be up here, but just doing things like that when you realize that like no one is silently hoping you fail, especially here.
Yeah.
That like doing something like the open, I never thought I would do. Just subject myself to people watching me work out, but it's really just not that deep, is what I just tell myself.
Yeah. No one's really watching too closely.
No. And if they are, it's like they're, again, they're like cheering you on silently, or they're just, again, they're not looking at you because they think you don't belong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nobody wants to watch somebody fail. Everybody wants to see you succeed and do well. So.
Yeah.
What would you what's like a piece of advice you'd give to somebody that like is thinking about starting to work out, but is maybe feeling anxious about it?
Okay. So I've actually thought a lot about this, because whenever someone new joins, I feel like I can sometimes even just tell that people are anxious because I know what it looked like for me. So I feel like it's kind of easier to notice in other people. But one thing that I always tell myself now, or would tell people, is that you're allowed to be a beginner in something.
Yeah.
And some of these movements, especially the more like Olympic ones, are more difficult.
Yeah.
And everyone had to learn
technical.
them the first time. And like, I remember trying to learn the movement of like a clean, and I was like, I could not piece everything together. And I just had to realize that everyone had to do this movement for the first time, so really like lean into your coaches. Like that's what they're here for, I don't know, again, and scaling your pace, I think, was really helpful. And just showing up, really. Like the thing about consistency over like intensity is just like the truest for me. I feel like I don't, it's just like showing up more than feeling like you maybe lifted your heaviest, or, you're going to be fatigued more like some days than others. So just kind of showing up for yourself and coming, and then, worry about the breath work and all that stuff after.
Yeah.
But just showing up, and again, letting a coach know if you're anxious, like tell them, I'm, kind of nervous about this workout. Can you talk me through some scalable movements? And, like they're going to be checking in on you and making sure that you're comfortable, you're feeling okay, you're not hurting yourself. Like that's, again, they're here for you. They want to see you succeed. So just lean into them, show up, and everyone there is going to be like cheering you on.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you had some ankle stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like a while ago. It wasn't back when you started, because I wasn't here then, but when I first started, you had a lot of ankle stuff going on.
Yes.
Worked around it.
Which the funniest part is that actually when I started to get more in shape and my, I lost some weight and got more toned, the weight or the ankle issue actually got so much better. We did a little bit of rehab together to kind of fix that, but that scaled, or in combination with the weight loss, actually really helped. Same thing with back pain though. I have a lot of back pain from weddings because they are very physical.
Yeah.
So all that stuff. And that was the other thing. When I would not be lifting as much, my back would get fatigued and it would get sore a lot easier. Listen, I've tried like every other explanation besides that working out was the answer. And
you had to do sandbag lifts at a wedding once. I remember you telling me that.
I know. Well, those linen bags on the tables, yeah.
You're like, this is just like the sandbag.
Yes.
You're like, I hate to say this, but
yes. Like I said, I was always like, I was such a girl growing up. Like, I didn't like sports. I hated sweating. So I was like, no, working out can't be the answer to all of this. And maturing is realizing that it is. And just education too. I think that was another big part, was like the education of like everything. When it came to like, I had to learn how to like the nutrition factor, and then, you know, actually working out, recovery, like all of those things. And you actually learn the education behind it, I think just reinforces the fact that, or the truth that coming is important, being physical is important for so many reasons. Yeah. But I was trying to deny it. I tried.
It's all pieces of a puzzle that honestly you're never going to put together.
Yes.
Like, you're always going to keep adding pieces to the puzzle.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool, because if you were to complete the puzzle, then you would stop working on it. So
yeah. And it didn't all start at once. It was like, at first I just was working out here, and then I eventually asked Sean, you know, is there a certain, you know, what should I be eating? You know, like it was, and I've been coming for, I think, almost 3 or 4 years now. So it took time. And it was like each, you know, I'd almost like progress to the next thing and be like, so what about this? Or what about, you know, those kind of things that just over time I got more curious about. So it's a journey, but it's like the best journey I've been on. The most consistent I've ever been in working out. I've never worked out as consistently or for as long as I have here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing awesome. I really like that piece of advice you gave about you don't have to be good at everything. You don't have to be good right when you start. You don't have to be perfect at it. Because I always give that speech to people whenever I teach them Olympic lifting, which is, don't expect to be good at this today or even this month or this year.
And also, like, if you watch your coaches work out, or you ever, you know, are in a class and your coaches are working out, like, you'll see them struggle too. You know? Whether, you know, the movements and the form.
See me struggle today.
Like, you know, they're going to have down the basics, you know, the movements and the form and all that stuff. But if they're going for like a new weight or something, like, you know, they're not perfect either, and they're always improving themselves. So that was
thanks for that reminder, Ashley.
Your coaches are not perfect. You heard it here first.
Definitely not. All right, on that note, we gotta go get to class, so thank you so much for coming on. I think that was great advice, great conversation, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for listening to the Rest Between Sets, and a big thanks to Ashley for coming on the podcast. Next week, our podcast guest is Mike Rossetti. He is a Costco employee, and he is going to give us all the details on Costco.